Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Thanks for checking out the video. Today we're going to be taking raw material like this, something that I found, and wiring it and turning it into a bonsai, something small. The first wiring is always, it usually doesn't look that good when you're wiring a seedling for the first time, but what you really want to do is get just that initial form, the initial form that you want, so that way the plant can start growing over the season and the next season and stuff like that, and you can really start visualizing what you want this tree to be. So we're gonna get right to it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We do appreciate it. Thank you very much, and let's dive in. Hey guys, I just wanted to show you guys some quick wiring of this, some initial wiring of this little thing and how I do it. It can be done very quickly, relatively speaking. This is a Juniper, species of Juniper that we got all over North Carolina. You can find them everywhere. Basically what I'm going to do is start out by cleaning up the trunk, getting all these little areas off right here that I know that I'm not going to use. Clean up the trunk, get all this little stuff off. I like to get all the branches that are very close to the trunk, all the little leaders coming off so that you can really see what's going on with the trunk and the branches after you wire it. Get all these little tiny shoots off, clean up the trunk a little bit. I know that I'm not going to use any of these shoots in the future, so get all this stuff away. See, I'm not sure if you guys can see right here, but basically got 3 or 4 branches coming out of the crotch of this right here. So what I'm going to do is pick the one that looks the oldest. It's also a little bit longer since it's at the base, and I will just snip all of this crotch growth out. See, individual ones like this that are just coming out of the trunk, new growth from this year, take that off, undesirable, we don't want that. All this stuff right here. A little bit more crotch growth. So you know what I've got? Nice area that I can wire down like this. And what I'm probably going to do, I'm just going to cut the top off right here. These can be used as cuttings. You could take this and strip this, put some aspirin on it or rooting hormone and just stick it in the ground. And got yourself a nice little tree. See, now that I've got the branches that I'm going to use, what I'm going to do is put some wire over the trunk so I can bend the trunk first so I can really get an idea of what shape I want this to be in the future. And once I find something that I like, I can start bending some branches. And for wire, these little trees, I just use this. You can get a whole roll of it from Lowe's for like $5. I mean, this is 200 feet. There's 2 wires of 200 feet, so that's 400 feet of copper wire for around $10. A lot of people don't like the color, so you can just take it, strip it off so you just got copper. Real cheap way to wire your trees. As everyone knows, aluminum and copper wire can get pretty expensive. But for these small trees, you really don't need much wire. You really don't need a thick gauge either because they're still so small. I think this seedling, this is probably its 2nd year. I believe, I can't remember, I've got a lot of these things. I'm just gonna wire this, throw some wire on it. One thing you don't want to do when you're wiring is cover up the foliage. You do not want to wrap that up because it will damage the tree. I do know that I want this guy to look like a natural tree. I don't want any crazy bends or twists in this. In this guy. Make sure you get all this crotch foliage out before you wire. Found a little bit more up here. Just really take your time, be patient. Make sure your cuts are good and smooth. I mean, this tree is so young that if you do a little bit of scarring or anything like that, it's gonna heal up nice. I mean, these guys are still very young. Get all these odd needles off growing out of the trunk. So I'm not covering those things up. I think I'm gonna use this one as my leader. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm just going to leave this like this for right now, since I've already got. So I'm just going to. I don't want to bend this too much. But I know that I want to take this guy down. The trunk is going this way. I want your eye to go up like this. So maybe something slight like that. Maybe we can go down like this. I think I'm going to go at it like this way. Well, let's just do that and see how it goes. So when I'm wiring these branches, I always get all this stuff out too. The extra needles that are just growing out of the trunk or the branch, excuse me, because you don't want to wrap these up with wire. Grab some more wire. And I don't use much. I don't wire these whole branches. I don't take the wire all the way to the end of the branch when they're this young, just because, first of all, it's still spring, so these guys are growing. I don't really want to use that new growth. Or wrap, that stuff's still going to be growing, and I don't want the wire to cut off the circulation of the because it can die if it goes in, if the wire grows into the branch. I definitely don't want my bottom branch to die. Oh, looks like I missed a little bit. Just remember, this is an initial wiring. I'm basically doing this just to get the tree to start to grow the way that I want it to for the future. I mean, this guy's going to sit for a long time. So I go about halfway up the branch like that, or down the branch like that. And I'm going to twist this guy this way. And I'm going to twist him like this to the side, so that way the branch looks flat. See, it looks flat, as opposed to if you flip it this way, it's going to be growing like that. Ooh, look, a little inchworm. Come on, buddy. You don't want to be on here. You see that little guy? He's lucky. Nah, you can't see him. Cute. Let me go throw him out real quick so he doesn't die on the porch. A long walk for an inchworm to get to some fresh foliage so he can continue snacking. Alright, so here's the next guy. Ow, that hurt. Here's my next guy. So, clean up all this stuff since that's where my wire's gonna go. And you can be as meticulous as you want. I don't for these guys just because they're so young. They're gonna grow so much. You know, I don't go through and wire all these little guys. They're just too small. Too small for that. I'd have to be changing the wire quite often until the growing season ends for this year. So just a little bit of light wiring. Let's get the basic shape so it actually looks like an older tree. Older than a year and a half, anyway. For this one, I'll just I might need to put a thicker wire down here at the bottom. This trunk isn't staying very well like I want it to. I'd like for it to be something like that, maybe. I don't know. Let's get some more wire on, and then we can move everything around and really make everything fit into place. Like I said, this is just an initial wiring, so it does not need to be perfect. And I mean, I'm staring at my trees every day, We've got them all over the porch, outside, so if we're outside doing whatever, hanging out on the porch, you can just stare at it. And, every day I'll find a little piece usually that I don't like or I want to get rid of or something like that. Because, you start walking around it, and the best trees really look good from several different angles. A lot of times it's hard to do, especially if you've got some type of, something that you've carved out or something like that. It's really hard to make a tree look good from every angle, but I like to have my center and still have have it look good from one angle, but I also still like it to be, like I've seen some people who literally just take the branches and move them all to the side just so that you can see the trunk. So if you flip it around, there's nothing in the back, there's nothing in the front, everything's on the sides. Personally, I don't like to do that because I stare at my trees from several different angles. So I'm just going to take this guy and see, if you look right here, instead of moving this guy all the way over so that way it mixes, what I'll do is kind of leave him like this so the foliage still fills that gap, and just put him down a little bit. So if you look from the back, you still looks like a tree. This species is kind of hard to work with a little bit just because of the placement of the branches, how they grow when they're young anyway. But once they get bigger, and once you've got a few years on them, the trunk starts to get a little thicker and these branches start to get a little thicker, these things really look very good. I wish I had an example to show you, but I don't right now. Not an older one. I've got a 3-year-old one over there that I did, but it's not ready. And there is different ways. There's, this is bonsai, it's an art. So to each their own, there's no right or wrong way, despite what the Japanese think. Obviously there are certain things that make trees look older. than they are. Certain techniques that you can use and certain different ways to wire and stuff like that. But for me, I just do what looks good. I do what feels right. I mean, how else are you going to learn? You learn by making mistakes. You learn by trying new things. I mean, I literally I do crazy stuff. I'll grow plants in water sometimes. We grow a lot of plants. We grow a lot of fruit and vegetables. Take a lot of clones. This year we've cloned a whole bunch of blueberries. I really like to bonsai those out, which is my intention, because they can stay small, and the blueberries that I have, that I cloned from, the tree that I cloned from, or the bush, excuse me, produces a lot of fruit. So I've taken, I don't know, this year I think I took 20 clones, something like that. And I'm gonna put them all in these little pots, little tiny pots. Just have a very small blueberry bush, something that we can eat off of in the future. I mean, I love it. I really do. So I'm excited about that. I mean, we do that every year. You know, pumpkin, squash, peas, lima beans, carrots, everything you could think of. I mean, we grow trees, we grow ornamental flowers. You know, we just like to grow stuff. We like to grow stuff. So you got to mess around. You got to mess some stuff up. You got to try new things. You got to question yourself. You got to stare at something for a very long time occasionally to really get it where you want it. You know, as I'm sure a lot of you know, this stuff takes decades. It takes decades. So just keep trying. I mean, it's a tree. It'll always grow back. You know, unless you don't water it or give it fertilizer that's not organic and it burns the hell out of it. Just keep trying new things, you know? It doesn't matter if it looks ugly. Just keep trying it, you know? You learn from experiences, you learn from mistakes. How are you going to know not to do something if you've never done it? Watch this stuff grow. See how what you're doing affects the plant over a long period of time. And that's the only way to go about it. That's literally it. So the initial wiring of this thing is almost done. As you can see, it doesn't look like much right now. Gonna be I'm gonna twist this guy around like this. Oh no, did I just break it? Wow, I did not. That felt like it broke, but it didn't. Nice. I was like, geez, that thing's tiny, how did that break? But anyway. See, for the pieces like you see this branch right here, it's nothing but new growth, but I still want this guy here just to add accent to the plant. I typically don't like to wire new growth. For this one, I'm just going to wire it very lightly, put very loose wire over it. It's unbelievably flimsy. I do not want it to get damaged or injured. Oh, I think I just got my wire stuck. There we go. So I'm just going to wrap it very loosely over this guy. Sorry, my camera cut off there for a second. You missed this part. Remember, these were the 2 liters. I didn't know which one I was going to use, so I waited. And the reason why I waited is, see, now I've got this guy coming down. So I'm going to use the liter on this side. branch this out, and then I'll use this side as this one as the leader. And that's why I waited. That's why I waited to do that. But I also want to show you guys. I'm going to chop this top off so that way it stands up straight. And when you're cutting something like this, what you don't want to do is cut below one of these shoots. If you cut right below one of these shoots and cut it off, it leaves this stick at the top. You see that? You do not want this stick at the top. It looks very unnatural. So what you want to do is cut directly above one of your leaders, and now it looks a lot better. And just remember, guys, this is an initial styling. This is literally to get the tree to do, or to start moving in the direction that you want it to move in. So don't get discouraged when you wire up a new tree, or you wire up something that you found, a seedling that you found in your backyard or something like that, because it does take time. They are trees. I mean, it's going to take decades people work on these things for generations. So don't get discouraged when your tree looks like this and it doesn't look like all those pretty pictures that you see online, because it will. Just keep watering it, keep it fed, don't water it too much. Don't put too much fertilizer, nothing like that. Just be patient. Just stare at it every day, make some mistakes, slowly chop off some stuff and slowly move some stuff around and wire it, and really get an idea of what you want to do. And as the months and years go by, it will slowly turn into a beautiful tree. Alright guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.